Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday night. I just want to make sure while I'm talking, it's always good to make sure that audio is working. That's good. Yeah. If you can hear me, let me hear if you can. Gary, you move quite well. Listen, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Look at this message here. My first message tonight is from my esteemed good friend for years, telling me that I move like an old man. Okay. Saying that I move like an old man. Can you imagine that, guy? And I mean, I'm tempted now to get up and start to do a dance move. You know what I'm trying to say? Let me see. I can do a dance move. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen. I want to say it's a happy new year and welcome to the first live session of Talking Sip Saturday night. We've been going on for a few years now. Well, since the lockdown brought out people to do many different things, and this became an extension of the Silburn Show, which, as you all know, it's going on for 2015 when I launched the Silburn Show, and this has been an extension of the bigger picture as well. You got to be creative, create different forms, different patterns, different styles. You know, the walk and talk motivational moments, the in review, the late one. On the red chair. Well, the red chair sort of been in held for a bit because the COVID sort of slowed things back. But hey, even though the COVID held things back, you got to just is keep going, don't stop. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for those who are on Instagram. Hi, Kim. For those on Facebook, for those on YouTube, for those coming on tonight, I want to thank you so much. Well, the topic I have for tonight is New Year's New Solutions. Did I spell that right? Solutions. Yes, New Year, new solutions. You see, one of the things I was thinking about with Talk and Sip is that while it's good to have a drink, yes, and that's the drink there. Yep. What I have is first start off with some water. Yeah. Bingo. Give it some water right there. Yep. And then as well, I've got to get a little wine. Not too much, really. Because, you got to go to church in the morning. So just a little, you can see it right there. And I can do that. There you got a little wine. I don't know, what are you going to drink tonight? And a few persons have been telling me what they're going to drink tonight. Senator Norman Grant. I'm supposed to have Senator Norman Grant on tonight. On the coffee board. Senator Grant, I can see you, but I cannot see you. What I mean to say that I can see that you're there, but I can see no image of you up there. So yeah. So we're talking about solution, but I'm going to have Senator Norman Grant. Senator Norman, let's go straight into that first. And Washington Grant, ODJP, Senator, Managing Director and CEO of Mavis Brank Coffee Factory and Chairman of Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, because recently we had Coffee Day. Jamaica Coffee Day was the 9th, actually. There we are. Hey, sir.
Okay. Can you see me now?
I can see you. I can see you live and direct. There's something that is blocking the top of your camera there. I'm sure it's not.
Okay. I think. Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking it was some coffee beans, but it wasn't any coffee beans.
No. It wasn't. It wasn't a coffee tree.
Oh, look at it. Can you see that? Can you see my thing? Look at my page.
Yes. Yes, I see your page, and I'm showing you the gold. I have another barrel for you.
You got another barrel for me, ladies and gentlemen. Hear that? There's a barrel for me
I
right
have
there.
the classic for you, and I
Awesome.
just introduced a new product, the Jablum Gift Collection.
Right.
Okay. So I need to send that over to you in London.
Definitely, I would definitely appreciate that so much, you know. And so tell us now, because all right, you know, I'm actually I didn't get to, because of time I didn't get to make it, but I drink my, I have my coffee for special occasions, and of course this is a special occasion.
Yeah, sure.
But
Cheers.
cheers, cheers, sir. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
well, thank you very much. And to all your listeners in the
yes,
UK, I'd like to just say that on January 9th, we had the fifth celebration of Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day. The
yes,
history behind the day is that in 1953, Keeban, one
yes,
of Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, shipped the first 3 barrels from the port of Kingston into Tokyo from the Mavis Bank Coffee Factory.
yes,
Subsequent to that event, um, the coffee, the largest shipment left the port of Kingston to Tokyo, Japan, on the 9th of January
yes,
1967. I'm
yes,
currently researching which company sent that coffee shipment, but round about 2018, in my capacity as chairman of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association,
yes,
we engage our Japanese partners to celebrate this event of 9th of January 1967 in relation to the 50th anniversary. And
yes,
the Japanese partners went to their parliament to legislate that the 9th of January be recognized as Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day in Japan.
as well.
Myself
Okay.
and Jason, yeah, and Jason Sharp was in Tokyo along with Ambassador Ricardo Alicock, and it was
Mm.
a momentous occasion. We came back to Jamaica, and I had just ascended to the presidency of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, and I reached out to the Governor General of Jamaica to follow suit for the
Yes.
want of a better word. Um, Find a way to celebrate the work of our 5,000 farmers and
Mm.
the thousands of coffee farm family by also recognizing the 9th of January in Jamaica as Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day. So a
Yes. Yes.
proclamation was issued by Governor General Patrick Allen, and ever since 2018, we celebrate this day in Japan, in Jamaica. That is the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association in collaboration with JACRA, which is formerly the Coffee Industry Board.
Yes.
JAMPRO came on board, and we have consistently been celebrating this event across the globe. So
Uh,
in
yes.
Jamaica, we had a celebration at Cafe Blue, which is the pouring of sophisticated coffee. So we
Yes.
had Jam Pro, the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Industry, the Coffee Blue family, myself as president of the Coffee Exporters Association. We had Peter Thompson, the Director General from JACRA, and we also had
Edward, Minister of
the
Tourism, Ed Bartlett.
no, not
No,
there.
that
We had
was Mr. Edward.
representative
Okay.
from the from the Japanese embassy.
Yes.
Following that event, we, in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and the Honorable Ed Bartlett, we launched the Jamaica Coffee Blue Mountain Coffee Festival on Coffee Day. That's exciting,
Mm.
and
Yes.
it was really a momentous occasion. We had, the MP from East Rural St. Andrew, Honorable Juliet Olness, Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr., We had Senator Hill, Minister of Industry and Commerce, and of course, we have the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Ed Bartlett.
Yes, yes.
We also had other events. There were tasting events at Jablum Coffee House. We had tasting events at the airports. There were tasting events, for example, in our hotels, on the waterfront. It was a buzz of activity, under the theme, live the luxury lifestyle. But let me just say that our focus was to celebrate the work of our 5,000 farmers, their tremendous contribution. We not only had celebrations in Jamaica, but we had celebrations across the globe. So they were tasting at the Council General in Miami. They were tasting in New York, headed by Councillor General there, Wilson.
Chairman of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association,
and there were also tastings in Europe. We have scheduled tasting in Japan, which is going to be big on the 17th. And Wednesday, I join the team at the Embassy of Jamaica in Beijing, China, for another tasting. So, it's a way of celebrating the event. Next year, I will enlist you to lead the tasting in London.
You mean that is when you do that thing and you do that? Norman, can you hear me? No, yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, is that when you do that special thing with the tasting there?
Yes. Yes. No, I won't take you through that. That will take a lot of training. I will just have you to make great Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, sip and share on your social media platform, like what I'm doing now.
Okay, sip. I like that one. Sip and share. Talk and sip. And ladies, tonight it's gonna be sip and share. That's a good one. And I believe from the last time that we were on, we were talking about Jamaicans. We're saying to a way that the coffee is a bit very expensive for Jamaicans at home. How is that now? Because that was a concern at one point, wasn't it, former Senator Norman Grant?
Yes, I think the coffee industry is rebounding. As chairman of the Coffee Exporters Association, working with JACRA, we came up with a proposal that we have presented to the Minister of Agriculture. And basically this proposal has asked the government to pump $1 billion into the re-establishment, redevelopment, the resuscitation of the coffee industry. And basically what we have said, treat it as a part of the production incentive program, just the same way you treat cassava and coconut and the other crops. So we say, add it to that program, provide the coffee industry $200 million over per annum over 5 years, provide seedlings, fertilizer, insecticide, training, etc. In that program, we have included the distribution of 3 million coffee trees, aim to take out the older trees, to re-establish plantations that have below 870 plants, and aim at increasing the productivity from the miserable 30 boxes per acre that we're getting now, up to 60 boxes, 70 boxes, 90 boxes, and 100 boxes. What that will do, it will move the national production from 270,000 boxes that we are realizing now to 450,000 boxes over 5 years. Listen to these numbers. What that will do, it will move the earnings from the weighted average 25 million US over the last 15 years to 50 million. And because of this injection, if you factor an incremental per annum growth of 5% over 10 years, it will generate generate earnings from the coffee sector alone of 100 million US dollars. That is game changing.
Yes,
That
yes,
is game changing. And what that would do, it would transform the rural economies. It will make the coffee sector a sustainable model. It will attract more and more young people in the agriculture sector. It will lead to import substitution, because right now we're importing a lot of coffee for blending, which is critical to get to the particular price point, because the focus would not only be Jamaica Blue Mountain, but it would also be non-Blue Mountain coffee. And it has other multiplier effects, such as the
yes.
repairing of our rural road networks and creating a rural economy. Listen, I went to Japan, and I went into a rural town where I met with a mayor. The mayor was about 85 years old, and he came with a concept that was implemented by the Japanese government that just transformed the rural communities. This was highways in the rural communities. Trains were running through the rural towns. And from one product alone, you had about 77 byproducts. Did you hear what I just said? 77 byproducts. And I think that feasibility is also possible in the coffee industry. And that is why, we're really pushing it with a passion. Minister Charles is with it. We are talking to the 3 member of parliaments. We're going to be engaging the cabinet through the Prime Minister, Honorable Andrew Holness. We want to enlist the opposition on it as well, because we believe that agriculture is the lifeblood of the Jamaican economy, and coffee can lead that way. And that is why, we are really celebrating Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day. I'd like to say something about the role of Jampro. Jampro has come on board. They have gotten JSIF to inject, close to $100,000 in doing a research on the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee brand globally. And the idea around that is, as the production grows, we need to find us a place in the value chain, in the market, for the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. And therefore, we are looking also to add value added locally. Minister Bartlett working the revival of the tourism industry. So when the tourists come to Jamaica, they are leaving, with a pack of Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. We're working with our hotels, the inbound shops in Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, and the Grill. And we are working also with Jampro and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs through the overseas missions. So nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the table. Go ahead.
So tell me then, in light of this, like with the economy, and sometimes, Norman, we don't hear this sort of message coming out of Jamaica in abundance. I say in abundance. It's coming out, but not in abundance. What you hear mostly is the negative streaks, the killings and all those sort of things, the scamming. Am I correct there? That is what we tend to hear easily. And how can this message, or what you're talking about, or can platform like myself be used to showcase these positive message, whereby agriculture through coffee is creating a massive impact and creating greater footfalls as well?
Yeah, and that is why I'm talking to you now.
Yeah,
because I think that what makes news is not dog biting the man, is the man biting the dog. But I think some of us has focused on the positive game-changing issues that is going to make a difference. And that's why I'm talking to you. Regardless of what are happening, they are positive. We need to try and propel or advance or engage in conversation, right? that will talk about the positives and to see how much, it can help to change the negatives that
Yes.
that is really creating significant damage to the Jamaican economy and
Yes.
in general to Jamaica. So coffee is one.
Yes.
Tourism is another. I think that there needs to be a lot done to, spearhead an investment that would transform rural communities to stem the rural urban drift. Our towns are too crowded. We need to
Mm.
create, a lot of these idle lands that are there. Get them into coffee production, cocoa
Yes.
production, right?
Yes.
Get them into, banana production, sugarcane production. Get the youngsters who have nothing to do. Get
Mm.
them on those land. Get the financing in place so they can get funding over a long-term period of time. Capital is a
Yes.
problem. Use the contracts that
Yes.
they have with the hotels or with the supermarket as collateral. Try and change your behavior to let them know if you borrow, you must repay,
Yes.
and that credit rating, even though you don't have commercial titles or
Yes.
those assets that are bankable, your character from what is bankable and the track record. So I really think that we need to really think out of the box.
Yes.
Our politics need to change to one of the developmental approach,
Mm.
and take up the partisan approach, and there needs to be a period, a cooling off period, what I call a cooling off period, where nationalism and personal development
Yes.
becomes what is on the forefront of our minds.
Norman, I know you got to go shortly, and we're going to talk about quickly why you have to go because you got some more to get. But quickly, if someone is listening in now and say, "Listen, I want to, for argument's sake, go to Jamaica. I want to get into coffee farming, but I don't know much about coffee." Are there persons who will be there like yourself to say, "Here's the land, the investment, and we can mentor you through the whole process. We can guide you through the whole process."
Oh yes, absolutely. My
Mm.
contacts are online, ngrant@mbcfcoffee.com,
Yes,
Norman Washington Grant @gmail.com. But you can
I
also
got it here.
contact the Ministry of
Yeah,
Agriculture.
yeah. Your
You
details
can
is there
contact
running across the screen now. Yeah.
you can contact the Ministry of Agriculture. You can contact JACRA. You can contact the Office of the Prime Minister through their Growth Ministry. So there are avenues that are available that if persons have great ideas and they want to come back home to get involved in coffee and to get involved in any type of investment, the avenues are there. And I would certainly, oh, and they can also, before they come, they can also contact the missions overseas. The
Yes.
missions overseas, whether it's, the ambassador or the consul general, they can make an appointment and discuss that with them, and they will point them
Yes.
into the direction, whether it is, service industry or product or music,
Mm.
entertainment, whatever it is.
Yes.
Jamaica is open for business.
And Norman, also the gentleman who is in Jamaica. What about the one who is in Jamaica wanting to make an impact and say, "Listen, you mentioned instead of sitting at home and say, listen, no, not do. What can I do now? I just heard on Silburn's show that I can go into coffee farm, but I'm the land, but I have the desire to do something. What can he do? How can he? What can you say to that person?"
Yes, and the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Investment, the Development Bank of Jamaica, there is an agency called Agro Invest.
Yes.
which is a government agency. You know, if you're a youngster and you want to get involved in agriculture, you can engage the Jamaica Forage Club, you know, the Jamaica Agriculture Society, RADA. All of these are agencies of government that are set up to assist. Whether or not they are as effective as they should be, that's
Yeah.
another issue. But they are
Yeah.
there, and you can reach out to them. There are advertisers, agencies that you can engage.
Yes.
Association, like the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association. I'm not, I've been in the Senate for 15 years. I'm no longer, a part of the government system. But when I get referrals, I can point them to where they need to go.
Yes. Yes. And listen, you've got to go to an award ceremony or something like that. Is that, Sir Norman?
Yes, I think the agriculturalists, they are doing what is called the Legacy Jamaica Legacy 60th Award under the patronage of the Governor General, and they're
Yes.
awarding persons that has made significant contribution to the agriculture sector. And they happen to select me as one of those awardee, and I accept with great humility. And
Yeah.
it is not the end. you know I'm big. I'm ready to continue to work for the national good. And
Yes.
I'll come back on your program maybe in a couple of years to talk about a particular
Couple of
research
years.
that I'm now engaging in. And yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. No, you'll
yes.
be coming back. You'll be
Based
coming
on
back.
some other work that I'm doing.
You'll be coming back at that time, but I'll be having you before that because we always link in at least every
Oh
year.
yes, yes, yes. Norman. I'm a regular guest of your program, right?
Yes, and we do the
So
running. We do
before
the
I
running
leave
in the
you,
yes, yes.
yes, and
Now we're
our running in the
gonna say
morning too.
we do the running in yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and
Stormy
we need to
Norman.
pick up back some of those storming on me. Yes, we need to pick up back some of those conversations. So I share to all your viewers, all your listeners in
Yes,
London and all over the world that has joined. Let us celebrate the work of the Jamaican farmers, and let
yes,
us take a sip of the finest coffee in the
in the world.
world,
Yes,
Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee.
and of course I'm showing my Blue Mountain coffee because you know these. I still have my. Do you know I got this some years ago? This actual
Yes, that's a Wallingford product.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. This
that
came from
that
Portia
brand is
Simpson.
now.
This came from Portia
Yeah.
Simpson when she came years ago. And the guys them said,
Okay.
I heard that Portia came bringing gifts.
Well,
Yeah.
I now produce that brand,
Yes,
and
yes,
what yeah, and what I'm having is Jablum the coffee experience beyond compare.
yes, yes, yes. No, I only if I have any workman come by and doing anything and always says to them, would you like any a Blue Mountain coffee? And they say, oh, you know.
Yes,
Well, Norman,
yes.
listen. Want to thank you so much. Hold on, hang on. Someone say you can mail my coffee to me here in Texas. Angela Brown. That's what she said.
Oh yes, tell Angela. In fact, they can, because I'm on as managing director of Mavis Bank Coffee Factory as well.
Mm.
They can go. You can go to jamaica.org and see all the legendary.jamaica.coffee.org and see all the brands.
Yes,
My brand is jablumcoffee.com. So if
yes,
you put in jablumcoffee.com, you will go to my e-commerce site and you can buy
yes,
coffee, and we deliver it right to your doorsteps within 48 hours of your order, right? So tell Angela to my number is also on the screen there, my
yes.
email. Yes, give us a call, and very soon we could really have a coffee house in our town in Texas as well.
Okay, that's awesome. There you go, Angela. Fantastic. And you got all the details there for Norman Washington Grant at gmail.com. Telephone number 876-280-1768. N Grant MBC Coffee. You can see all the details there. Sir, former Senator Norman Grant. And ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, and for the record,
Cheers.
Norman Washington Grant, ODJP, former Senator, Managing Director, and CEO of the Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, and Chairman of Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association. So we can say confidently that big things are going on yard, even though sometimes we don't hear about it. But that's what the Silburn Show is here to talk about. Big things are going on yard.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Sir Norman, have a good one and enjoy the rest
Thank
of
you.
the sunshine and mail some over to me, WhatsApp it or whatever, some Jamaica sunshine. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I'll mail some to you just, and I'll reach out to you and we'll talk more about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Norman. Have a good one.
Okay.
Peace
Cheers.
out. Peace out.
Yeah, man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank former Senator Norman Washington Grant for coming on. You can see his details there. For those on Instagram, unfortunately, not going to see that. Thank you for those joining on Instagram. To catch the full show, you got to go onto YouTube or Facebook, Stillburn TV as well. And you can see the details. But let me just play a couple of videos there from the coffee greetings. Here's one. It's not going to play. These are a couple of videos which took place during this January the 9th Coffee Day. And I'm going to see if I can play a couple of videos with a couple of greetings. And here we go, which is one. I don't know if this is from Japan or so. Japan greetings. Yes, here we go.
Okay, Norman Grant, Chairman of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association and Managing Director of the Mavis Bank Coffee Factory. It is my pleasure to celebrate with our Japanese counterparts from the Embassy of Japan, Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day here at Jablum Coffee House. And guess what? Ambassador Shauna K. Richards and the Association of Japanese Importers of Jamaican Coffee will be having a big celebration of Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee Day in Tokyo on January 17th. So we say Happy Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day from Jamaica and
Japan.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can I just ask, do you drink Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee? And is it easy for you to get Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee? Just to let you know, I've got mine. You can reach out to Senator Norman Grant straight here, Norman Grant, mbccoffee.com, Norman Washington Grant at gmail.com. He's also breaking into new markets as well, and market is anywhere that it happens. And I have another video here, which I will actually play. This is, let me know, I'm not sure it is, but I'll just play it.
Hi everyone, wishing you all a very happy Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day, all the way from Shanghai. Thanks.
So that was from Shanghai. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again for joining me on Talk and Sip Saturday night. The invitation is out there for anyone who wants to come on the show. It's always very interesting when we, let me see this. It's always very interesting when we have a show like this, and I get on different guests, and eventually what I'm planning to do, because this is the first show of the year, and just give you an idea what I'm planning or what I'm thinking. For the past year and a half, we have been very diligent every Saturday night, having a drink, and everyone having a nice lavish, and at a certain time, put on my hat, and we have a little party here. And it's a nice atmosphere where we get together and we just as friends. The topics are normally Jamaica leaning, I must say, and by virtue of the fact that I'm Jamaica straight out of Ocherius. And for those who do not know Ocherius, which I always big up, and people always say, there we go, talking about Ocherius again. But you know, you got to big up a yard. You know, you can't big up England. You have to big up a yard, because if anything, a yard I go, and that is my yard there, Ocherius. That's my hometown where I grow. You know, and I spent most of my life there. So that's my yard, Jamaica and Ocherius. But what we want to do, ladies and gentlemen, and what I want to do is to really get persons who are decision makers, persons who can create a difference in conversations. I know conversation is very important where everyone can have a chat, but sometimes we the chatting goes on a bit too much. So we're looking for solutions. My good mate and I, Anil, we were talking earlier, and one of the things that we were even talking about was AI, artificial intelligence. That is something which is big going on, and GPT, something which I'm learning about. You know, I don't know if people know as well that eventually they're talking about robots going into court, and robots actually representing people, human beings. So therefore, when you hear that, you got to think again. Is it that there's going to be less lawyers, or is it that we're going to have lawyers behind the robots, or is it going to have researchers? So one has got to creative to think, because one of the things that someone said, and people always say this all the while, that the children of today, right? The children of today cannot be trained or taught as how we were at the time when we were growing up, because the world that we were brought up for, that world is not anymore. And the children are being brought up and learned and taught for a world which is coming. And therefore, we've got to recognize it and got to realize that. So one has got to be very, I think the right word I say is, have to be ready, solution oriented. Solution oriented is the key thing. New year, new solutions, and that's one of the things that we're talking about. A topic I was thinking about was this, and I'm just going to wrap on different things unless anybody come in or not. Anybody want to come in, let me know. Of recent days, there have been recent rumblings about Jamaica becoming a republic. And I heard Malahu Fort, who is the minister with responsibility for that area, and that the Prime Minister is not able to select this particular committee because of the fact that the opposition leader has not provided names, that is names for this committee. So as a result of that, they cannot start the ball rolling. And the opposition leader is saying that he wrote to the minister for the minister to come back to him as to the terms of reference for this sort of committee, all these persons they're going to put on what is expected of them. I think that is very fair. The issue I think is this, that I believe that there is a lack of will. I believe that there is not a desire. This is just my view. I believe views and perception is based on a person's bias, maybe. But this is my view. I believe that there's not that deep-rooted desire to see Jamaica becoming a republic. Right? I don't believe that there's that deep-rooted resolve to see Jamaica becoming a republic from the arms of the ministers or government. What do you think? I throw that one out to you. Somebody saying we have a social club here in Texas. We play many dominoes and ludo. Okay, that is related to Norman Grant. Sound like a good time. So I believe that if one keep dilly-dallying, as they would say, skirting around the surface and not actually dealing with this issue of Jamaica becoming a republic by setting out the process, setting out the timeline. This has been going on for years. What do you say? You agree, right? Tell me what your views are. Let's share. Let's talk about this for a bit. And if you want to come in, let's dig a bit deeper. Okay? Even when Queen Elizabeth was around, Queen Elizabeth wasn't stopping Jamaica from becoming a republic. I believe when there was a lull in it was when Kamina Johnson Smith wanted to be the Commonwealth Secretariat. And my view was that great lady, great, fantastic, but at the same time, why wanting to get entangled with the relics of the past, the relics of colonialism, in a sense, if you're actually saying at the same time when Harry and in Meghan, I don't know if when Harry came to Jamaica, no, William, sorry. Everybody talk about Harry and his book. When William came to Jamaica with Kate, the discussion and the Prime Minister said, we have to move on. But when you look at it now, it does seem like it was pure gesture politicking. It was just trying to say something for the moment. When really and truly, since that time, one hasn't seen anything tangible happening, even though the government may say, well, we got the minister in place, we got these in place, the opposition leaders should get somebody in. The opposition leaders say he's waiting for terms of reference. So people are saying, actually, who is the person? Who is the one holding the process? Is it the opposition? Is it the government? Is it the leaders? Is it Jamaicans? Is it that Jamaicans not really wanting to let go of the relics of the past? Is it that they do not want to let go of the royal family? Is it that they feel like they need to have that level of security? Is it that a security in having King Charles as your king, with a governor general sitting at King's house, who is a representation of the king, who is actually the head of state? The head of state of Jamaica is not the prime minister. The head of state is the governor general. He's the first person, and his wife is the first lady, not the prime minister's wife. You know, lots of people. This is what King's ETV. Lots of people comfortable in slavery as long as it's not a chattel. They don't see it as a realistic threat. You know, and that's the point. Many people, you know, Harriet Tubman said the whole thing. People are somewhat satisfied in the moment, in the present. Don't want to rock the boat. When you talk about even the Commonwealth, no, not the Commonwealth, the Caribbean Court of Appeal, the final Court of Appeal for the Caribbean, for the legal system, people are saying to me, and I'm reading, people are saying, this is what they're saying. Oh, it's an old boys network. We do not trust them. So what they're saying, you do not trust your own people. You do not trust the Caribbean, but you rather to trust the Privy Council. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, the Privy Council is an old boys network. The English legal system is an old boys network. The UK is an old boys network, right? So therefore, if you're actually serious and wanting to go forward and wanting to have your own level of independence, then you've got to move forward. And I believe that any child that is ready to walk, and any of you who was a child, everybody, you must remember, I do remember when I first started to walk. You're right. My son always say he remembers everything. When you first start to walk, you fall. And you get up again. You fall. You get up again, and you're getting stronger. And everybody say, when you fall, everybody say, hey, do that again. And you're so excited because you made that move. And as you keep going, you get stronger. And I believe that is what needs to happen. And if it doesn't happen today, it's going to be harder for it to attain that high level if you do it tomorrow. So why not do it today? I believe that there's a lack of leadership. I believe that the will and the resolve is not there. Let me hear what people say. They rather trust the colonizer. King's ETV, I have no option but to agree with you 100%. You know, because I do recall sometimes when, say for instance, Jamaica or organizations, they'll come to the UK and they want to engage with the diaspora. Sometimes they'll go to the white man or go to big organization and spend thousands of money. But when it comes on to the persons within the diaspora, they tend to use them. And I've got evidence of that, which I won't say now. They rather to trust the former colonizers. And this is the thing, and this is very controversial statement I'm going to say now, but I'll hear what Angela Brown says. I'm so glad you state the status of the Governor General in Jamaica versus the Prime Minister. Many folks isn't aware that the Governor General is the head. Yes, Angela Brown, it is indeed. The Governor General is the head. And I'll go further by saying Jamaica is not an independent country. And that is why once the revelation hit me, I stopped saying it happy independence. And when people say, why are you not saying happy independence? What about the people? What about Shelley and Brown? What about Usain Bolt? I said, no. Don't mix up. Don't you dare mix up the achievements of our fellow Jamaicans with independence. That has nothing to do with independence. If we are to celebrate the achievements of our people, that is different. And let us, when they achieve greatness, let us not try to rip them off. I don't know the story. I don't know if somebody can come on and tell a story about what has happened to Usain Bolt, because I heard that Usain Bolt got ripped off, and somebody just sent me something a while ago with some ladies who are caught up. I'm going to touch on that a bit, about some ladies who are caught up. Lots of women are caught up in doing some fraudulent things in bank, or allege, you know. When the Brits, where I'm in now, because I'm in London, and when England decided to leave the UK, Jamaica, and said that you're now independent, and England drafted the constitution for Jamaica. The colonized factors and the umbrella which oversee things even set out of many one people. I see a Chinese ladies all over social media educating Jamaicans about Jamaica's an African state. Jamaica's not an African state. What is out of many one people? And she's educating Jamaicans. Everybody's, whoa, you know? Yeah, whatever, I won't touch on that one there. But nevertheless, still, the point about it is that when the Brits left the UK, ladies and gentlemen, when they left, there's one thing they left there. If it was an independent country, if it became independent in 1962, why the land wasn't apportioned to the people? Every time I bring this up, I get everybody coming and say, but Silver, how can that be? Where can that be? How can that be? How are you gonna give the land to the people now? Well, just as how people are demanding reparations. Just as how people are demanding reparations, and people are trying to say, how are you going to give the money to the people when England gives money back? When the Church of England, who says that we apologize for slavery and set up a bank account for 100 million, when Danish or Denmark, some countries say reparation, they're going to find ways how they're going to pay that money. So if that's the case, let's find ways how we can apportion lands which are deemed to be for UDC, lands which the government own. They're deemed to be like crown lands. It's the same thing. It's like crown lands. Why do they have those lands? Why those lands weren't given to the people so they can start off on a solid footing? So when the slave masters and the colonizers left Jamaica, as the lady would shake her head in Jamaica, justice we want. Justice. It is like, that was it. I think that was the highest level of scamming. And you can screenshot my video and say that. I think that's where scamming started. Jamaicans were scammed. We were scammed. Because when the colonizers left, okay, and what happened next was that the land was supposed to be given to the people. So people could start, instead of have left them with bare hands and nothing. So they are scrounging at the bottom of the barrel still. While the slave masters, the colonizers, were paid handsomely. And I believe up to 2015, same people that were enslaved, their descendants were still paying off those slave masters. That is why Motley from Barbados has touched a chord and touched a nerve But instead of seeking reparation or apologies or so from governments, she's going after persons with names, persons who directly benefited from slavery. Draxall, for argument's sake, Draxall, there's a family named Drax from the Conservative Party, a member of his name is Drax, and Drax have estates, so she's going after Drax, the Drax family, okay, and also the Draxall in Jamaica was owned by the Drax, so that family, I think David Cameron also former Prime Minister's family, so therefore Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, is going after the families instead of going at the state. And I believe Jamaica keep missing a trick sometimes. That trick is go after the families. Go for your independence. Why not? Why not go for your independence, ladies and gentlemen? Mia Mottley has shown the way. Or maybe they don't want to say a lady has shown the way. Well, the lady has shown the way. and that is one of the best ways. Now I'm not an issue sometimes, maybe either way. My thing is that there always needs to be a resolution, and coming to find an answer. And that is where I always have a problem with that. I have a problem when the government for years talks about overseas voting, whether or not there need to be overseas voting by members of the diaspora. But that has been talked about for many years, over and over again, as if it is something brand new when it is brought up as a topic. What's your thoughts about overseas voting? For me, it's here or there. Whether or not you can vote overseas or not is here or there for me. The key issue is that if it is a topic that keeps coming up, why not get it resolved and close the door and shut it down? But every time it comes up, it's like a fresh thing. Oh, we are deliberating, we are thinking about it, because I know, 2004, 2006, the Diaspora conferences, being involved in it for years. I've been to Jamaica, going to all these conferences, all turn out to be talk shop. So I just don't bother with that. Waste of time, waste of space. They've got to be resolved. They've got to be leadership, in respect. So I believe that, I hope that the people will push the government, but something tells me that maybe the people somehow maybe still comfortable with the king and the monarch as head of state. But as someone said earlier, that they don't believe that actually the governor general is the head of state. They think it's a prime minister. It is not the prime minister, Andrew Holness, is the head of state in Jamaica. It is the governor general, and his wife is the first lady representing the king. And the king is the head of Jamaica. And you in Jamaica have to get a visa to come and see your head of state or visit the land of your head of state. I believe it was Lisa Hanna who set that out very marvelously at a time like that. Yep. So there we go. That's my monologue in regards to that. Anyway, what are you drinking? Who is actually coming on? They stole money from Bolt at SSL. What is this thing? Money stolen from Bolt. There is somebody sent me something. Let me see. Let me turn this down. Somebody sent me something saying what they said. They said, "My clients trust me. I earned it." This is a lady named Jean Ann Panton, wealth advisor. It is alleged that she's one of the persons behind Bolt's missing funds. I call the name, but I'm saying what it says. It is alleged that she's a person behind Bolt's missing funds. The wealth advisor was arrested for fraud at NCB Ochi. I thought Ochrius had only good people. What's going on? How did this person become mixed up with Ochrius? Wow. And then there's another person named Kadeen Thomas, business development officer at National Commercial Bank, work at NCB Jamaica. Went to Westwood High School. I went to Westwood High School. No, I didn't go to Westwood High School, but my sisters went to Westwood High School. Wow. There's another lady at NCB who has been charged for fraud. The Virgin said, call me later. And there's another lady for with some other fraud thing going on at some other places. Scamming at a high level. Where did this scamming thing come from? Now, Usain Bolt, I do feel it. I see Usain Bolt as a very nice guy. Never met him. Well, I met him once at the airport, and he was pushing the trolley, and I was taking his picture, and he said, "Be careful, man. They stop you from taking pictures." And I said, "I'll run." He said, "No, I'll run faster than you." I think that was the only conversation I ever had with Usain Bolt. But of all the persons and the athletes, I mean, I heard Asafa said some things recently, but I'm not a person going to get into any negative thing, but I wouldn't support what I believe Asafa was saying. But one thing for Usain Bolt, right through the time, you can see that he has set his legacy, and you can see that he's as much as possible giving back to the community, and it's unfortunate that someone so scrupulous would want to rather rip him off. Let's hope that it is an error or so, and that the money will come back. Missing millions, just like that, that's very strange. If I miss a couple hundred or so, I'll know, or 10 or 50 pounds or so, I'll know easily, but missing millions, but that is not acceptable. And I hope and trust that the scammers, because that's what it is, I call it scammers at a high level, right, Kim? The scammers at a high level that would actually wanting to rip off someone like Usain Bolt, someone who has given so much to Jamaica, someone who has given and keep giving and reside in Jamaica, unlike some persons who would, not from Jamaica, but other countries, who would go away to try to maybe avoid taxes and live in other countries in order to keep their money. But what he has done, he keeps giving back, and that's it there. Yeah. Well, I'm going for a roll. I think I'm going for a roll. I got another half an hour. Now, Prince Harry. I had to touch on Prince Harry. Yeah. I'm sure there's many other topics that one could talk about, but I'm in the UK here, and Prince Harry seemed to be the bone of the topics everywhere in the UK. Every morning that you wake up, there's another topic on Prince Harry and Meghan. And I have no problem with Prince Harry. If you leave and cleave with your wife, that's it, bro. You do what you have to do. My only thing is that they're milking it, and they're taking the people for a ride, and people are just buying and sucking this up. These guys making some serious millions. These guys are having a hard life as son of the king, children who are their grandfather is a king, and a wife whose father-in-law is the king of England. They're having a hard life with hundreds or millions in the bank, and whichever way, never lack. I don't think they even know where the gas meter gauge is, or the electric meter gauge in their houses. I don't think they've ever had to go to a petrol station and to try putting in petrol and going like this on the nozzle, trying to make sure it doesn't go over a certain amount. I don't think they've ever, in a way, been to a supermarket and watching the money that they used to spend, how much they can buy. I don't think they go to a restaurant and read from left to right, or right to left, right to left. They read from left to right. Right to left is where you look on the price and then you go back. Left to right is where you just look at what you want. You don't think about the money. They're having a hard life. with personal security everywhere they go. And that is for me something like I just say it's a red herring. And who cares? Who cares about that? Yeah. Many people will say, well, it shows that they're racist. Shows that they're racist with Megan. Well, somebody pointed out the other day that which part of Megan is black? Yeah. Is she seem to be black? Does she stand up for black causes? I hear people sometimes saying that and defending her to a certain point where they're saying they treat the black woman, but I say no. She is never actually finding causes or fight causes for the black causes. But black people will jump on the bandwagon and trying to find causes to jump on her for. You know? Don't know. Yeah. So so those are the things there. Those are the things there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's well, I look forward to what should I say? In a few weeks coming up to have what should I say? Have on persons who are like what should I say? If you have a new video or you're doing a new song or poetry or whatever like that to come in at the end of the show, that was something that to be looking forward to. Hey Jody, how are you doing? You good?
Hi, evening, Silver, and Happy New Year.
Hey, happy new year to you. Good. How are you doing? Awesome.
I am doing great, and it's great to be back here.
Yes. Is it? Let me see if I can turn this down. My music here. It sound. You keep talking. Count to 10. Let me see if I can count.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yes.
5. Are you
Yes.
hearing me
Yes.
clearly?
Yes. Yes. I mean, a little distorted, like a little trashy sound. But the most important thing is I can hear Jody, because in this life you have people. Some people can't hear. So let me just satisfy the fact that I can hear. You know.
Okay, all right. So I'm using my laptop. My headphones got damaged. I was trying to
Yeah.
use my tablet, but I know if I use my tablet, you won't be able to hear me because I don't have the headphones. So I decided to use my laptop instead.
Okay. So by using your tablet, have you got a headphone on?
No, that's what I'm saying. The headphone is
Yeah.
damaged. So now I'm using
Okay.
the laptop. So I'm hoping that the sound is clear enough.
Yeah. Yeah. We're hearing. We're some good distorted. But that's no problem. How are you anyhow? Still, what's going down with Jamaica since you're on the rock?
What's going on with Jamaica? A lot is going on with Jamaica. It's still burned, but I'm hoping that we'll all get a grip of what's going on in the world and how it's going to impact Jamaica soon. That is the part of it that hurts my heart. That we are unaware of what's going on and what's about to happen in the world.
Well, Norman Grant was on. You know, was very upbeat and positive in one particular sector, talking about agriculture and Blue Mountain, to say that there's opportunities there. But is it that opportunities like those are long suffering? Because people like quick things these days, quick, and going to coffee farming, that's not quick, is it?
No, it isn't quick, but I think that we've lost the sense of understanding what these what commerce brings to our country, and
Mm,
we are all looking for business opportunities that will make us make quick money, and that's not necessarily the best way, it just as it comes quickly, it goes quickly. And when it comes to agriculture, if more persons invest in agriculture, they'll see and reap the benefit and how that will profit our country in the future.
yeah. Because everything is more like quick cash,
Yes.
wanting things happening fast. That is why the whole world is coming. I just mentioned a few names. Somebody, I use the word allege, even though I mentioned their names. of persons who recently was involved in this scamming of Usain Bolt or other persons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what you're finding is, I don't know, it's difficult to say without knowing, because you know most of them are ladies. It's like a lot of women are involved with all these scamming things, ripping off people. I use the word allege at the same time, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think what's happening in Silverna, and it's right across. It's it's not just Jamaica. It's happening
Yeah.
everywhere, but it's highlighted more in
Mm,
Jamaica because we're a small country, and in a small country where these crimes are proliferating all over the place, it's significant to us because we're small. So anything at all happening can be big, right?
mm,
Um,
mm,
so this whole thing with frauds and people losing money is something that's been going on for a while. But what's happening now is
mm.
that people are catching up because people are taking bigger risk, bigger accounts,
Yeah.
taking more money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think one of the things that affects us is accountability. So because persons are not being accountable, we're not catching up fast enough. Because we're trusting, to do things instead of have systems that work. And if you have a system that works, it's easier to pick up these mistakes, to pick up on these intrusions. But when you don't have accountability now, then you find out people get away with a lot more. And people are getting
Mm,
away with a lot of things in Jamaica that would seem like to them a way of making money, but it is illegal.
yes. But there have been people who make the sort of um link or try to level of justify certain things by saying it is not hurting anyone, like it's not killing them. That is why, like the scamming, and we've had this discussion before, where it is seemed to be the way forward because of the fact that this is an easier way of making money, different from how things were in the past, because values have all changed. And it seems like the more that sort of mentality happens, the more people, it's like a snowball effect that we get bigger and bigger to the point whereby it becomes a real norm, and it's going to be
Yes.
hard to pull back from that.
And then when they see certain people doing it, they're saying, "Oh, if they're doing it, then we can do it too." And the moral compass changes because you are now judging against persons who you think should know better, and then you're thinking because the person who you think you should know better is doing it, then it becomes normal for somebody else to do it. And it's a sad situation and it's a sad reality, but
Mm,
everybody's seeking how to make money. Nobody wants to make an impact anymore. Nobody wants to change lives anymore. Nobody wants to build anything anymore. I surprisingly shared a conversation with somebody last night, and it's like I like
mm,
to watch things grow. I like the process, and I guess that's my
yes.
personal thing. I like to start things from the beginning and take them to as far as it can go, and that's just my personal drive. People start
Yes.
something today and they want it to be fruitful tomorrow, and I'm like, no, that's not how growing works. It needs water, it needs sunlight, it needs
Yeah.
dedication. It needs something, but we're not willing to go through the process. We're in this microwave world where everything needs to be instant, and I
Mm,
think that's going to be to all of our detriments because people are just gonna hurt people, do things that frankly it doesn't
yeah.
help the situation.
Isn't it a bit similar to even like relationships these days, where relationships, especially marriage or so, I would say more marriage, people don't have the longevity or the staying power. If it now work now, there's nothing that holds them. They just want, it's microwave. We can get another one. I can get another wife.
Yeah,
I can get another husband. I can get another relationship. Nobody's into the long work. Nobody's into
it's
the long sustaining of things.
yeah, it's surprising because
Mm,
that you'd say that because it's in every aspect of our lives. It's our education system. It's our banking system. It's everything. And
yeah.
so because we want everything so instant, we miss out on the process. Everything in life is a process. And even with the
Yes.
relationship thing that you hit on, everybody's become so independent that we forget that we're human
Yes.
beings and we're
Mm.
codependent on each other. And it's sad that we're losing that human element. And this is why they're saying it's easy for these robots to come and replace us now, because they're designing all this technology is going to it's going to replace a lot of us in the workforce, and it's going to be so. I mean, like sometimes, when was the last time you sit down with someone and have a conversation? You're
Mm.
not texting, you're not emailing, you're not distracted by your phone. You're having um listening skills, you're using eye contact, things like that. I mean, it's hard these days because everybody wants things to be so instant. There's a lack of compassion, there's a lack of understanding, and
Yeah.
it's in every aspect. In every aspect. So the process is watered down to
Mm.
just I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it.
Let's. I,
I mean,
I,
is it relevant? Probably, but
mm,
is it helpful for future
yeah.
generations? I don't know.
I mean, you're right. It's not just a Jamaica thing; it's a worldwide thing now with the whole social media world. I mean, someone just came on a while ago, King Z TV. Let's look at what he says. I've seen it so much. People who speak and get on social media, acting as leaders, who mercilessly pimp or people who want better in life, and
Yes.
it's unfortunate, and which is right because lots of people really, honestly, desperately want a better life and willing to look for opportunities, and then persons see that gap there and said, yes, yes, we can suck these people dry, suck these people dry,
Yeah.
you know.
You
and
know,
and
I see
go
on
on,
me.
Jody. Yeah.
I one of the greatest ones that kind of hit me was how I mean like we have our history with going back to how we were introduced cryptocurrency and these things. But there are some people who just people, the more information that goes out there is the more people try to use I mean I'm just thinking on one specific thing I got in my email that I can remember um about an investment, and if I never had knowledge of the whole thing, I would have probably gravitated towards it because it was put so professionally and organized and everything, only to find out it was a scam.
Yes.
And there are
Yes.
lots of
I,
people who are learners, who understand a few things and would want to invest, whether it's for their children or for a better life or for whatever it is, and they're getting scammed because everybody's deaf for this new get rich quick life, buy a Lamborghini, live in a mansion, travel the world
it,
kind of thing that social media sells us.
it is correct. And let's look at what Miss Annie Bailey says. Our ancestors, farmers, fishermen knew differently. Uh, and went further. Yeah, D said, "Yup, good conversation. It applies." You see, what I see is happening also, and it's the whole concept. I mean, I'm on social media. I'm on TikTok. I mean, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, and sometimes it's you look at it and you say you wish you could get off it, but you realize that if you get off it and don't inject your energy or your positive thing or your thinking in others who have no desire to see the betterment of people or to suck them dry will have a field day. That is why they always have this
Yes.
saying, evil, evil prevails when good men remain silent. And that is why I always say to people all the while,
Yeah.
don't let social media dry you or drain you. Use it to your advantage. And I use it, as you know, I use it. Um, I I will do the dancing that I want to dance. If people will come back and say,
Mhm.
you need to change your dance move, and I say, no, I dance how I want to dance. That's my dance. I do it my way.
Yes.
Or if I do my rapping or something like that, that's all. That's
And
the way
trust me,
I
it
like
lightens
to do it.
the day.
Huh?
I don't know everybody else, but it lightens the day for me.
You know, I just I just don't care about anybody. I just do it how I want to do it. I will while everybody's going on to some new trend, I'm going into Johnny Gill singing my. I'm going to some old track and just okay, it might get 10 likes, and if I use another one, it could have gone thousands because I use a trending song. But
Yeah.
I'm not moved by it, Jody. I'm not moved by that. If
You
I'm
know,
not moved by
it's
something, I'm not going to do it.
so dull though. So boring because I I remember sharing something on Instagram and on my Facebook page, and somebody said, "Why do you have to be so real?" Or why do you have to put it's like, hey, guess what? Social media is projecting that life can be so perfect.
Jody. I'm going to stop you, Jody. I'm going to stop you because you're saying some good stuff and we are getting cut out. I'm 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 bearing with you, but I'm just wondering if there's a way we can come back
Can we?
in and get your audio clear. Even if it is
All right,
because it's
let's
cutting out a lot.
try that. All right, let's try that.
What are you gonna do? Okay, Jody's gonna come back. Very good, very good, interesting discussion. I like these discussions that is not planned, and it's life changing discussions where we think how humans are thinking now, how the world is going in a particular way, and how we are watching it goes a particular way, and we are just not saying anything. It's like men. I've got lots of men friends that I speak to, and men are actually having a hard time when they say they are men. Men are not supposed to be men anymore. Once you say you're a man and you're masculine, quickly people start to call you misogynist. you know so men are actually having a problem sometime in being men, and I said be unapologetically masculine. I have no qualms about that. One don't have to be leaning towards the Andrew Tate mentality, or leaning, but one can actually be um genuine male. Hey, Jody,
Hi, are we better?
why were you doing that? This is better. What were you doing? This is much better. What are you doing?
This
What are
is
you using?
on my phone, but the battery life is low. That's why I didn't want to come in the first place on it.
Okay, well
So
it's clear.
um,
Let's see if we can let's see if we can use it as much as we can until it dies, if anything. Yeah, you're saying something there about yeah, you're onto
all
a
right.
point there, Jody. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I'm not sure if this has my thing looks very
We,
weird.
we can
All
see
right.
it can see
So
it
what I
clearly,
was
yeah.
saying, I shared something. I've been going through a process myself, and it's something that is mentally, physically, emotionally impacting my life in so many ways. It's affected every area, and I decided to
Yeah.
share some of it on Instagram and on Facebook. And it was my mother who said, "You have to um, be so." And I said to her, "So is presenting this image that life is perfect and families are perfect, and there's always showing their perfect family on a perfect photo shoot, or everybody's doing a dance, and real
And your
issues of
skin
life are
and
not being
hold on,
real."
and your skin clean, and your skin so clean. Big up your
And
clean
you
skin,
feel,
which is
your
filterized.
body parts are perfect. Yeah, and your body parts are perfect, and you fit perfectly into these stylish clothes that every same thing. And so they're feeding what it is that we should be doing and feeling.
Yeah.
And people who cannot keep up with it does not realize that all of this is staged just for video, or just staged for a photo. And then everybody's thinking, I need to have that life. I need to be traveling. What's not on these videos are the timeline. Um, how did these people get their money to be traveling? How do they get these money to be doing photographs and all of these things and effect? And I said,
Yeah.
remind people, that we're real people, real world with real situation. And while it might be good to show the and make it positive, we also have to make people know that, hey, life is real, and we're all going through real stuff. And as I said to you, even the thing with Twitch was, for me,
Mm.
Twitch and his wife and Allison are usually some of the persons that when I am not in a good mood, I would watch some of their dance moves and videos,
Wow.
and I bust a move or two. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it puts you to lift your spirit. And here we go on they look like the family, but this is a man who was
Mm.
battling with some issues where he has to think that, hey, my only solution out of this is to end myself. It meant he
Yes.
was weak, was tired, he was overwhelmed. It's an overwhelming feeling, and I can speak to it. I've been there. It's a feeling where you feel so lost within yourself that you're wondering, does it even matter if I move from here? Even though you might be doing great things in the world, it's an internal question you have with yourself. And you keep going over that conversation, wondering if what you're doing is worth it, if your thought process is right. You start feeling guilty, you start feeling, what about the impact it's going to make. You go through the whole rationalization process. And for somebody to actually go through it, it must have meant that they were in a lot of pain and they were in a lot of
Yes.
hurt. And it's I see it happening more. On my Facebook page, I saw a number of persons put up, oh, they found this guy in his hotel room and they're suspecting that is what that was. They found this one and they're suspecting that was that. They drank themselves to death, or they took a tablet or something. And it is all of, it's not just Jamaica. And it's because we've created this ideation of what the world should be and how perfect we should be and how instant things should be, instead of realizing that life is a process. And everything in life takes time. And we shouldn't
Yeah.
try and microwave it or create this picture that everything is perfect, because it's not. And we're real people in a real world with real situations, and we have that. Or we're going to create the wrong picture, we're going to create the right impact.
And
And
making
so
wrong
yes,
decisions at the same time.
motivation is good.
Mm.
Wrong decision, yeah,
Yes.
it's all about the
You
things that we
you
have
know.
to look into going
Yeah.
23, um, of
Yeah.
how we project what's real and what's not.
Yeah. I I look at Twitch, and and I see a bit of him in me, in a way whereby happy go lucky, bubbly, always smiling, and you know, I want to think that they're perfect, but we all have our ups and
Yeah,
downs. I'm not, but I'm not going to be coming on um unless there's something gross and showing all different aspects of my life or so. Um and one of the things that I said is that people also need to be real. If it's real, being happy, it's real. If you Because I was I was listening to someone the other day, and they said that they have to psych themselves up, even if they're sad, to go online and go, hey, you know, and I'm saying, and also it's like people believe that if they have not been online for a long time, they feel and they're compelled to come on and say, I've not been online for a long time, this is the reason why. I'm saying, what? You don't have to do that. Why you feel compelled to do that? It's like if I don't walk one day, I don't come out and say and give this long story. I always say, if you don't walk today, you just don't walk. You just walk the next day and just carry on. I sometimes miss out 4 days because of some work schedule and some court cases, and I just go the next day and say, yeah, I'm back. But I don't get some long story and say, oh, I need to let you know, because it's like you're being driven to live a life or to be what you're not, and you're not being real, as
yes,
you rightly say, Jody. And as
hmm,
someone, as Dee said, the pressures of social media, the pressures,
yeah,
and especially young people are being pressurized to be
hmm,
this image, which is not real.
Yes. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's I see the at some medical conferences that I go on sometimes, um the impact of the surgery world is one, the cosmetic surgery world is one that is highly influenced by social media. And we're seeing where people are literally putting their lives at risk for
Mm.
these cosmetic surgeries that quite frankly make sense. um
Yes.
Even one of my favorite doctors, who is Jamaican, and she does some body sculpting as well. To go onto her pages, and she has, hey, listen, as much as I do this for women to feel good about themselves, but you can't be coming back for the procedure 1, 2, 6, 7 times. You have to understand that there are
Yeah.
health issues, and you're putting yourself at risk every time you go back for another procedure. And not all the doctors are
Yes.
doing it, because everybody's making a hefty sum off it. And if people would be real and say, hey, no, this is not doing, and we're not going to do it,
Yes.
but because money talk, it's like we don't care about human beings anymore. It's all about making the money. It's all about making the view of who you are and making a name
Mm.
for yourself. Everybody wants a name for themselves. Everybody wants to be legendary and don't want to do the legendary. But
Yes.
it's interesting though, Silver, and I'm hoping that in the coming year impact some people in positive ways to make positive decisions about their health, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially,
Yes. Yes.
and able to create an impact even this platform. Even when we were talking last, I said we have to find solutions. We have to find a way to
Yes.
into this media that you created, that has been awesome, that has kept all of us sane during COVID, and even
Yes.
that we have find ways to find effective, applicable solutions that can help our society and help our people. Because just as you said, the positive social media outlets are needed, because all people are seeing are the negative outlets, then everybody is going to become negative. But we have to inject the positive. We can't give up on what we started because we want to give it a break.
Do you know?
Then who's.
Yeah. Do you know? At some seasons, I unfollow the Gleaner, unfollow the Star, unfollow the Observer, and unfollow Jamaica things sometimes. For a season, I just unfollow because it's like, okay, it's a bit like Prince Harry and Meghan. Every morning you wake up and you're looking for, you go onto your social media to look on to what's happening in the latest news. Harry said this, Harry said that. And I'm saying, it's not that I'm having a go at Harry, but I'm having a go at the social media companies. For Pete's sake, people are worried about their bills. People are worried about their financial situation,
Media
the
houses.
hospital, the hospital waiting list. And every morning you're coming on talking about Harry and Meghan. Leave the people
Nurse.
alone. Huh? No, and the nurses them are
The
having
nurse.
such a hard time. Is that what you said? The nurses,
Yes.
yeah, that's what you said. The nurse,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And and for a while I was getting, even for Jamaica, I was getting, everything is okay. Is popcorn? Is that person? Is icy? And I'm saying, oh, for Pete's sake, is life that depressing? So let me just go to the walk. Let me just go on. Me and the birds them just hang out in the park, and I just say, ladies and gentlemen, look at the bird, and I find, listen. This morning I was listening to some birds. There's a bird I was listening to. I said, look at that bird. I wonder who is he talking to? Is he praying? And a couple of people was saying, I was watching with me, watching the bird up there, and then I hear another one. I'm saying, look at that bird there, and it makes such a big difference. And I saw the water with a ripple effect. The water, at one point, looking at the water, and I said, your life must have a ripple effect that affect people's lives positively.
Yeah.
So you're trying to find something to change the game, Jody.
Yes.
Because if you're not careful, you'll be taken like the river, and you go with a particular flow. Because really and truly, the negative energy, it's so easy. It's like it has this magnet that pulls people close. that the positive thing,
Yeah.
you've got to use it like an eagle. Positive energy is like an eagle that you have to go in and find the right outlet. And it's like, this is what it is. This is revelation I just got. This is a revelation, ladies and gentlemen. It is like when a nurse, and this is you, trying to find that blood vein, and she going like this. Am I correct? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
True. That is.
I've
Yes.
given blood. I've given blood already, and the lady was saying, and she had to wrap the thing around and trying to find the vein. You got to push it in. So you got to find it and send it in deep, Jody. Wow.
Yeah. And thing, and I guess it's weird that I'm talking about this because I'm talking about myself and what we spoke about, leading up this. Like I could see it coming
Yes.
from miles away, what we're talking about. And it's funny how we're living it and we spoke it months ago. And I'm
Yes.
saying, hey, what could we have done then to impact now? And that's
Yes.
all keeps playing back in my head every time we have conversation about where we are now. I keep like, could I have done something else then? Since I foresee
Yeah.
it, I did foresee it. I did talk about it. What did I do anything within that time frame to?
You're right.
And I'm thinking if we're
Yeah.
talking about it now,
Yeah.
going to help
Yeah.
the impact that it's
Yeah.
going to cause a little bit later, that's kind of where my always wanted to
Yeah.
make an impact in anything I'm doing or what I'm doing. So that's why I only involved in certain things. I'm not all over the place, and if I'm doing something, it's in purpose. Everything that I've
Yeah.
chosen to do in my life, that has been the reason that I must be able to create a positive impact somewhere. I mean, and I'm hoping that as I said to you, through this
Mhm.
media, we can be able to help some people.
Yeah. Jody, when you look back, and this medium really has benefited us during the COVID period, even though when they were even shutting us down and locking us down on Instagram because of using certain words, we had to be so careful during that dark period of COVID where we're all navigating through, but we all enjoyed it through, and I believe it helped us. But thinking back, Jody, when you kept saying you worry about the children when they go back to school, you saw that so clearly like daylight, and you kept saying it, and then we find ourselves living it now, whereby you see all the
Yeah,
children are operating in certain ways, whereby there was not something that was put in place to bring them into the new world after they have been into that world for a
yeah.
period of time.
And I'm thinking now that there's still not enough being done to deal
Mm,
with the impacts of what happened during COVID, is what's happening to them now, because we're still seeing the behaviors being displayed in school. I don't think
yes.
it's been addressed properly because I think they've left it up to schools, they've left it up to the teachers and the counselors who have been going and as well. So they have not dealt with those who are expected to help the children through these things. They have not, their situations have not been dealt with either. And it's making me wonder if we are not seeing happening.
Yes.
We're quick to put it on social media, we're quick to sack people, we're quick to say, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, but what could you have done?
Mm,
Persons who are in the position to set regulations and things in place to make sure that it was a much smoother process. Who holds you accountable for what done to help in this process, to help teachers,
yes.
to help guidance counselors, to redesign schools, to put systems in place? Guess what? We should see this problem coming. We locked these people up for a while, so we
Yes.
must plan to reintegrate these people into society,
Back into.
integrate these children, these teachers. How are we going to deal with their mental, social, emotional issues? And
Mm,
I can't 100% say I want to blame anybody because it hit us hard. But I think there was a point when it hit us hard. We were all taught disaster management. We were all taught problem solving, and I'm talking about those in leadership position, those in government. These are stuff that, it's a part of your portfolio, it's a part of your responsibility to our
Mm,
people.
mm,
And I am hoping that we stop playing the dolly house thing that we have been doing and throwing blame games on people, and just look at, hey, this is where we are at. Can't change where we're at. We just need to find the
mm.
solutions. And I see blame games being played and people being fired, and
Yeah,
oh, this person needs to retire. Like, I hear them calling principals and teachers to retire. We don't have principals and teachers. Why are you asking them to retire? Find out what the problem is and solve the problem. If it is not
yeah.
detrimental to the people, if it's not detrimental to the children, find a solution.
Well, there's something which I saw recently. It's about um the some home for young girls, whereby someone is involved, or they're trying to the head of I don't know. I'm trying to find the right words. I can't remember. You might know about it.
It's,
Some person.
I think it was CDA. Was There was the director, I think it was. um I read the story, I saw the story, and I was a little bit
Yeah.
confused by it, because the person who is being questioned is somebody who is donor to the organization. And
Yes.
apparently there have been reports that he should not have. There is actually some legal, um not allegations, but he has been charged with some previous offense,
Offense
and was not
against
to have
children. Mm,
yes, against children, and so was not to be in even though he is a donor to the organization,
yeah.
based on my
Yes.
understanding. But I guess based on the relationship that is had with this director, he was still allowed to be around
Mm,
these girls. I don't understand it, because quite frankly, if you are a sex offender, I don't even see why you're donating to this organization anyway.
yes.
I'm saying,
But the
where are we
interesting thing
accepting
about it
your
is
money?
that, yeah, I
Where
think
are
it
we
was,
accepting contribution?
yeah. Is it Angela Brown Burke? I was reading it was saying that, oh, I don't remember. Somebody saying that they should make it public, and we have had that discussion already many times about the sex offenders register, and many people are, and some of the opposition to making it public is saying if it is made public, they are going to go for them and kill them. So that is one of the arguments against making it public. But the question is, how do you protect the potential victims? That's a big question. It seems like there's more protection for the offenders. Does that
The
make
premise,
sense?
that's
Huh?
how it feels general in Jamaica. That's how it feels on the
Yeah.
general. You could be a murderer, you could be a kidnapper, you could be a stalker. I
Yes.
mean, like, it feels it feels like they have more rights than the people who are victims, and
Yeah.
that's just a general feeling. And
Yeah.
I've experienced it, I can speak on it. It feels almost like, you know, they would have more, because you're tiptoeing around what they will legally do, they can legally do, while you are
Yeah.
going through abuse and you're going through
Mm,
hurt. Who is there for you?
yes.
Is talking to a police officer, and I said, I think this whole situation has enlightened me to the point where I need to figure out how is it that I can help. Because I've experienced it, so I want to know, is there something to implement, so if somebody else is going through this, they have information, they have access, because on when I needed it. And so I'm like, maybe this is my platform, this is my way of giving back, of using my circumstance to help other people.
Yes.
Because there is, I think, went as far as asking, are there any safe houses, any contacts to anything that could help people if they needed to get away from a
What
circumstance
was it?
or a situation? And
What was the answer to that
there was none
about
that
safe
she
houses?
knew of. There was none
Mm,
that she knew of. There was none that she knew of. And she was even sharing a situation, because she said, she even pointed out, you see that lady there across the road, and she was showing me, and the lady had two daughters, and she was just beaten up by her spouse, and she had to go back home to that situation. I'm like, that's even safe. You're coming from the police station where you just reported something with your two daughters, and you have to go back home to that situation. That don't make no sense.
Well, in the
It's like you're
UK,
sending them home for somebody
yeah,
to
yeah, in the UK, in situations like that, and especially if there's children, there's no way that mother could go back home to that home with the perpetrator there. And if the mother goes back to
unless
that
their
home where the
systems
perpetrator,
are not being followed,
yeah, unless what?
unless there's system in place that are not being followed or we're not privy to. But
Yeah,
when I asked, that was the result I got, and I wasn't very pleased by it because I thought about it. I'm like, this lady is going back home, and she's going to probably go home to more disaster
yeah,
than what she
and
came to report. And that's
yeah,
why we
and-
see people dead.
yeah,
And
yeah. And remember, one of the things that we always know is that one will somewhat may be a statistics. So just because it is known to the police, that doesn't mean to say it's going to stop the abuse. It could just lead to the ultimate, you know. And that is what happened to the UK a lot, whereby even with terrorists, they said, was that person known to the authorities? Yes. And they said, how can it be if they're known to the authorities and they were able to go and blow up that place? How could it be that that
yeah,
mother has reported this man as a pedophile or is a domestic violence perpetrator, and yet they were allowed to go back home? And that's where a lot of the authorities are getting a lot of stick and criticisms for that. And it's become a zero tolerance thing now when it comes on to domestic violence against women. A woman should not go back into that situation, and the police should take it serious. That's in the UK I'm speaking about, and to ensure that she goes to a safe home, and and the address should not be disclosed. In court cases that I have, where there are issues of domestic violence, there's a thing which is flagged on our files called high risk, mean to say
yeah,
the addresses should not be disclosed, period, except to the judge or the guardian, but not to everyone. So there's a little
mhm,
flag which is even cases sometimes where you send something through to the court will come back to you and said that address of the mother is still on the document, can you redact it? It is a very serious thing, you know. And that is it really. So but anyway, Jody, any last
yeah.
word? All the boys, family good? Everybody good? Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's great to be back, and
yes.
I'm hoping that I said before, we don't just discuss things and find real solutions to our problems.
Solutions. Yeah, yeah,
Um, and move forward in 2023 productive
mm,
in making change. And I'm hoping that this is what it will
yeah,
do. You're already doing a job with just
yeah,
presenting to be able to talk about these issues. And
yeah.
I was wishing we had a bigger audience. We probably have to look at how we can build our audience. So
Yeah, well, yes. Well, what
the new in COVID, we called it the new, what we called it again?
the new vision, the new plan, the action plan, or something like that?
No.
Is it
We are mainstream media. We are the new mainstream media.
oh,
And
okay. We are the mainstream. Yeah, we are the mainstream media. Yes, yes. Well, one of the things
we're
that
the
I did, yeah, I did today was mention it to facilitators for Better Jamaica, and the group which I have with, and I said to people to, I invited people to watch it, and I'm going to do some more pushing towards it because I've created a new website for my thing, and it's getting revamped. And look at Dee's working on it. I'm getting someone who is working on an intro. Because this year is I'm really serious about, as you rightly said, solutions, not just talking. Because I'm fed up of talking and just, it's everything like I don't want to use, I don't want the word bloggist to come to me. I don't want the word social media influencer to come to me. I just want to say I'm Silburn City, as simple as that, nothing else. and just to find solutions. Like how tonight I
Yeah.
had former Senator Norman Grant. I have on my list to get Andrew Ness, my list to get Mark Golin, my list to get Trevor Monroe, my list to get the lady who is advocacy for children, my list to get different persons who are key persons with for decisions. That's what I'm looking for this year.
Yeah.
Just to come on the show.
And we don't want it to be a platform where they just come on and have a political agenda, but deal with, tell us, what is it that is in place, what is it
Yes.
that we can put in place, and
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
highlight that, hey, there's a deficit here, and we
Yeah.
think this is a solution taken, we just don't want somebody to read it to us. We've seen the agenda,
Yes. Yeah.
we've
Yes.
read the action plans, read the vision and the mission statements, and that we want to
Yeah.
A local man perspective from a regular
Yeah.
Jamaican man. This is my situation. What is my step? What do I do?
Yeah.
How do I get involved? How do I get help?
Yeah.
What can
Yes. And especially in the area of the mental health aspect. From we had someone on mental health some time ago, but someone from the government sector. How you like the question that you want to ask? How are we dealing with the children? I saw this little boy. I don't know what happened to him or what the outcome of that case, where he was taking these rock stones and throwing into the classroom. And I saw another video today. I saw another video today of some schoolgirls fighting. I mean, it was so ferocious. I mean, fortunately, there were no knife, but they had like board hitting each other. I said, "Come on, what's going on?
Yeah.
Where's that? Where did that come from? That pent up passion of anger? Where is that from?"
I need to plug this in now before we drop.
Yeah. Yeah, where's that pent up passion, that anger coming from? Where is it coming from? Where is that coming from?
And why do they believe this is the only way? Why do they believe that this is the only way to solve this? Before, if you had an issue with another person, you could go talk to your teacher, you could go talk to your principal. The first one is, I need to get at you, I hurt you, I need to hit you. And it's a lot of, as I said, it's a lot of what they're seeing and hearing in or whether it's social media, whether it's in the music, whether it's in the news, whatever it is being displayed there. And so it's like people have this anger and they don't have no problem solution technique. They don't know how to deal with conflicts. They don't know how to deal with hurt.
Yes.
And the only way they can do it is hitting back or hurting somebody else. And that cannot be the solution. You hurt me, I'm just going to hurt you right back.
The whole aspect of alternate.
Because I'm hurting, I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Jody, want to thank you so much for joining us, and former Senator Norman Grant, talking about coffee. Are you drinking a lot of Blue Mountain coffee, Jody? You drink Blue Mountain coffee?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
but guess what? I don't really get the best of the Blue Mountain coffees in the supermarkets. And from time to time, I interchange because I am a very let me see, frequent coffee drinker. Certain taste that desire a certain strength of coffee. I'm not getting it. It kind of throws me off.
Is that
so?
healthy?
I don't think we get the
coffee
or coffees in the supermarkets.
Right. So what the message I need to say to so the message I need to say to Mr. Grant is that one of my listeners is saying that my guest is saying that
the same quality that they're exporting markets. I mean, I don't know if it's a thing of location where I am, why I cannot get the quality.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what?
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. I definitely will have to say that to him, Jody. Well, listen. Let's
Yeah.
work on getting the next guest. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any topics that you like to come on the show with, feel free to also do that. And let me just put the details there. Um, Feel free to email. You got the details there. Any topic that you believe that we need, and any person that you believe would be key in having some discussions that we have raised, or discussions that you believe are poignant at this time and at this season, and any person you believe should be. Someone said, enjoy the discussion. That's from anytime you see somebody that says Facebook user, Jody, it is because they're coming in from a group. And when you're coming in from a group, you're not able to see the names
Oh, okay.
unless there's something that needs to put out there that they click on to give permission. It's some privacy thing that Facebook have when it comes onto group. That's why you see Facebook user. I can go in and find out who the person is. So Facebook user, yeah, as well. Any last word, Josie, before you go to enjoy the beach in Jamaica? How's it cold over here?
Looking forward to 2023 with you guys. Looking forward to the year ahead. And just you. I find that a positive mindset changes a lot of things. No matter what circumstances surround you, just having a positive outlook changes a lot of things.
Yeah, that's good. One of the words that I got this morning when I was walking, it's somebody on TikTok. I go live on TikTok sometimes. It's like when I finish and I just go on TikTok, and funnily see all these people coming on. And someone said to me, their job and what they want to achieve is to find out what they need to do, or how can they know that they have accomplished the things in this world that they should accomplish. And I respond to the person saying the best way to go about that is to know why you are on this earth, know what you're about, understanding your USP, understanding the reason why you're here. And then I went further by saying
Yeah.
life is going to throw curveballs at you, but what you got to do is to hit it. And I had my umbrella, and the umbrella was going a bit blowing away, and I closed the umbrella and I said, imagine I'm a cricketer or a baseball, and this I'm Ambrose, or I'm Courtney Walsh, or I'm Vivian Richards, or whatever like that. Those guys study who's gonna blow, who are the bowlers who are gonna bowl at them. They study everything they do. And they studied the balls, and they said, oh, I know that guy. Ambrose is going to come with a curveball. I know him. So I'm studying him. So the thing about it is that life is going to throw curveballs at you. But you got to study life. And you got to have passion. You got to have resolve. You got consistency in order to deal with it. Because those guys that hit those balls, they don't put them there right away, Jody. They have to go through training. Over years, and they have got to hit it a particular way. When they say Courtney Walsh and he goes a certain way, and he says, I know Courtney Walsh. I've been studying this guy for years. I know he's gonna bowl this ball. And like that, we've got to somehow understand life to a certain extent. And therefore, those who know better, our job is to somewhat teach those. You see, I was watching this thing about Andrew Tate, this guy there, and something, I don't know if you know Andrew Tate, but something resonated with me powerfully. And person, before you call me Mr. Jennings, everybody like to say Mr. Jennings. What I found interesting was what LBC said. LB said, a network said, why are young men finding this man fascinated? Why is social media allowing young people or young men to follow this guy? And why are they fascinated? And the answer hit me. The answer is that it is not about
Mhm.
Andrew Tate. It's about the fact that society now and the school is confusing young people, confusing men, confusing boys as to what masculinity is. And therefore, as a result of that, you're finding a situation where the extreme comes in from different levels and
Yes.
take that middle road there. And now the young men find someone that they can look up to. That is why you have gangsters. With gangsters don't take on young boys and polish their back and say, be a nice guy. No, they kick them up and they beat them up. But guess what they do? They give them leadership
Yeah.
and say they're going to take care of them. So that is something, Jody, that we need to talk about. I know you're a woman, but it's something that I'm going to be looking at because women have boys growing up, and they've got to
Oh yeah.
be, they've got to, we've got to teach them. We're not elders. Well, I was told I'm an elder recently. You're not an elder, Silver. You got to think differently. I'm an elder. I'm 53 for Pete's sake. Even though people think I'm 35 because sometimes because of my dancing, but I'm 53. They say I'm not. My former principal of York Castle High School, which is Raymond Treasure, came out one year when we all were becoming 50 because we're all at the same class. We're all at the same age range. Raymond Treasure. Raymond was in my class, and he said, "Now, gentlemen and ladies, you remember when your parents used to take you to school and you guys used to call them elders? Guess what? We're all now elders." And all of us started to say, "Oh, please, Raymond, please, give me a break, man. Stop it. I know we're getting it, but don't remind us." He said, "Well, you are now elders."
It is the fact, and
It is a
and
fact.
with it comes great responsibility. Actually, in a changing world where there is not a lot of good impact, and something that you should relish.
Yes, yes.
Because
I do really.
it,
Yes,
it
yes,
means that you have a sort of wisdom to pass on.
yes,
And
yes,
if it was thought that you didn't have wisdom, I'm sure they would not call you elder.
yes. Someone on TikTok said, "Can I have a shout out?" Yes, Walter White, we'll give you a shout out. I just put on the TikTok. Jude, I go further. There's some guys that was in Bromley today. We went out there for shopping for my daughter, for her birthday, and this boy, they were saying they're fighting against knife crime and all those sort of things. They're all uniform, very lovely guys. Them, and I said, he said, if I can have a certain amount of money, I said, I tell you what, I can give you half of it. He said, but yeah, what the full will give enough for a youth. I said, tell you what, what if someone give a quarter even of what you want, and 100 person give a quarter? You know what you're gonna have? You're gonna have enough for at least a certain amount. And he said, yeah, you're right. So yeah, so take what I'm giving you now. You might find 100 person with the same amount I'm giving you, instead of doubling it up, trying to, you know. And he saw
Yeah.
the wisdom right there, and I said, bless you, man. Just take it. I'm gonna post his picture up later, because we took a picture together. But it
Yeah.
is trying to find a way how to teach our youngsters at the same time with the wisdom that we have over the years as well. Instead of saying, "Man, can't bother with you, man. I try to rip me off," but teach them and bring them along with you.
Yes.
So that's it. Jolly, I think we have done it. 12 o'clock. I thought.
Yes.
Well, 12 o'clock for me, 7 o'clock for you.
It's been a pleasure. As usual.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't
It's
ask
been
what
a
you're
pleasure
drinking.
as usual. All the
Yeah.
Oh well, it's a mixture. I see what's in this. So
Yeah.
all the best for the for 2023, and lots
2023.
of success for this platform, and for 2023 and beyond. We're gonna live old,
And beyond.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
and beyond. Yeah.
And beyond.
This
And
is a great.
clean also on Instagram and Tony Black. Yes, she said you got to know your purpose. Cheers. And Jody, all the best to you. All wisdom, all success. And the Lord will fight your battles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Peace out. Have a good night. Take care, Jody. Bye bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. I hope you had a good night. I had a very good time with the few guests that I have, and those who join me on Instagram as well, and Facebook and YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe to the show. For those on Facilitators for Better Jamaica who join on tonight, feel free next week or so every week to communicate. Let me know what your thoughts are, any topics that you like, guests, especially persons who will create solutions. We talk about artificial intelligence solutions for 2023, not just chat and lavish and fake stuff, but real stuff. And at the same time, building up people as much as possible. Be solution orienters. Okay? Peace out. Have a good night. God bless you. Boom.